All right, Shalom Israel. First and foremost, before I get into my lesson, I want to start off giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders out of great millstone that teach and rule well, and salutation to the fellow laborers as well in the ministry, pushing the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai day in and day out in all truth and sincerity. This the brother Shaquat Gabar from the GMS South Carolina camp once again. And this message is to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which we are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, according to the Bible, according to historical events, according to history, scholarship, archaeologists, proving that we are the Lord's chosen people. And to the Israelite foreigners that may look like a heathen, but if your bloodline go back to Negro, Latino, and Native American descent by the seed of your father, you are considered an Israelite according to the Bible. And the Most High is only dealing with Israel, no other nation. So I just want to get into a quick lesson about these false Israelite camps, mainly being the hot topic of the week. Fopi, how he don't disappear, took years off from teaching the word, and all of a sudden he popped back up, and now he got a doctrine going around saying that all Israel is so-called blacks, all Israel are all Negroes, which that is a lie, man. He's trying to say that the Native Americans and the Hispanics, which considered the Northern Kingdom according to the Bible, he's trying to say that they're not Israelites, man. Well, that's false teaching. That's a false doctrine, man. Because the Bible proved that the Native Americans and the Hispanic tribes are Israelites, man, through the curses, man, through the prophecies, through history, And you got even scholarships amongst the so-called white man, which they are the biblical Edomites, the devil that the Bible speak of, the wicked. They even coming out saying that the Northern Kingdom is considered the Latinos and the Native Americans. Because they know that, man. Because when they came over here, they already knew who they was coming to conquer, starting with Christopher Columbus, man. When you had the Hebrew interpreters, when you watch the movie 1492, and how he had a scene, how they had a scene saying that, he read from the second Esdras, the 13th chapter, proving that the 10 tribes came over here to the Americas, and that's what I'm going to get into, man, the scriptures, man, to prove that the Northern Kingdom, that the Latinos and Native Americans and the Hispanics, all children of Israel, man, they going through the same curses as us, man, as the so-called blacks, man, the Southern Kingdom, man. And those dudes that's teaching that Native Americans and Latinos are not part of the nation of Israel, they are scattered in the flock and they bringing confusion. And the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, is going to deal with them, man. So I'm going to go ahead and start off in second Esdras, get the book Esdras with Christopher Columbus and his conquerors, which they really went into, man. Because everything around the Bible the Bible is a historical book and a prophetic book, man. And it's real, man. The world might try to look at it as a fable, as it just man-made. It's a myth, But when you have the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai dealing with you, because that's what they don't have. They don't have the spirit of the Lord dealing with them to add up the scriptures, from ancient times all the way to now, which is prophecy that's coming to pass. They don't have that, man. But you got these top scholars amongst Esau. They know that the scriptures are real, man. That's why they trying so hard to come up against this truth, man. Because they know the word of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, is not bound, man. But you got even people amongst our nation that calling themselves Israelites, not bringing out the word in the correct form, man. And they're going to be judged for that. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. This is second Esdras, chapter 13, verse 40. And it says, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hoshea, the king, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so come they into the another land. So this is going into how the northern kingdom, because you had a split between the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom after the reign of Solomon, you know, and the northern kingdom went into captivity under the Assyrians, you know. Then it said he carried them into captivity until they go into another land. Now the scriptures are going to break down what that other land is. And it says, but they took this counsel among themselves, that they will lead the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a farther country where never mankind dwell, that they might there keep their statues which they never kept in their own land. And they enter into the Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river. So, you know, the northern kingdom, you know, they took upon themselves to lead the captivity of the Assyrians and got on the, you know, and traveled the seas, man, through the Euphrates, man, and made their way over here to America, which the scriptures call it, matter of fact, I'll keep going. And it says, for the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over, for through that country there was a great way to go, namely 1.5 years. So it took them 1.5 years to get over here to the Americas, man. You know? And the Lord held the floods from them, man. Meaning like the hurricanes, because majority of the hurricanes come from the Atlantic coast, man. You know? So they got on the ships, and they came over here, you know, going around the Horn of Africa, and came through the passage over here to this way, man. You know, and it says the way to go, namely, all of 1.5 years, and the same region is called Azara, and that's what America is known in the scripture as well, Azara. You know, another land, which the northern kingdom, which considered the Native Americans and the Latino tribes, you know, the Hispanic tribes, they came over here, man, way before on the conquistadors that came over here, the so-called white nation, or the Edomites, you know, that stole this land from them, the Americas, Central America and South America, from the northern kingdom, but got the nerve to say that they the one that discovered the Americas, you know. Well, they already know that the lands over here on the Western Hemisphere was already inhabited, man. You know, so that's just and it said then the well day until the latter time. Now we're in the latter time, man. You know, so that means that the northern kingdom is over here even to the latter time, man. Why? Because they are the Latinos and the Native Americans, man. And it says, and now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Therefore sawest thou the multitude with peace. So basically that's it, man. You know how the Lord had predestinated or had it prophesied for the northern kingdoms, you know, to come over here to the Western Hemisphere, man. You know, and that's prophecy, because the Lord had set the northern kingdom up, you know, to be enslaved by the so-called white race, man, the Edomites, man. And, you know, and about, what 300 years later, 200 years later, he came on the shores of Europe and the west coast of Africa to gather the southern kingdom up, you know, proving that we are the same people, man. You know, because the northern kingdom has caught hell and went through captivity, hardcore bondage, and been slaughtered, you know, just as bad as the so-called Negroes here in America, man. And you can't take that from them, man. You can't say that, you know, all they, you know, went through hell, they had their land stolen. You know, it is what it is, man. Now it gotta be a judgment, a recompense for that, man. And the Lord is going to recompense the Native Americans and the Latino tribes because they are Israelites, man. Because the Lord had it for them to go into captivity for the rebellious as well, man. You know, for not keeping the law, statutes, commandments. That's what the Lord had them to go down by the Edomites, man. By the same nation that took the southern kingdom down. And there ain't no coincidence, man. Proving that we all the same people, man. Matter of fact, I got Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 33. Thus said the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel, which the children of Israel represent the northern kingdom, the Latino tribes and the Hispanic tribes, and the Native American tribes. And it said, this is the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. So the Lord said that we were going to be oppressed together, man. And that's taking place over here in the Americas, you know, that we came and served slavery over here in the Western Hemisphere, you know. It's to prove that, you know, we were separated, man. If all the nations were so-called black, then why the Lord had us to be split from the beginning, man? You know, showing you that, you know that the Northern Kingdom, you know, they dark skinned as well. But you got these jakes out here that's saying that the false Israelites saying that all the whole tribe of the nation of Israel is black, but they can't tell you what bloodline in the Bible if the Native Americans and the Latino tribes are not part of the nation of Israel. Then what nation are they from? They'll never, you know, come out with a question about that, man. You know, they'll never have an answer to that, man. Why? Because the Native Americans and the Latinos are Israelites, man. You know? And it says, this is the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. These devils refused to let the nation of Israel go, man. Like I say, man, you can't sweep the atrocities and the hell that the Northern Kingdom, the Native Americans and the Latino tribes went through, you know, over here during the time of the almost genocide and being slaughtered, man, and being captured. You know, you can't sweep that under the rug, man, and turn a blind eye to it, man. Thinking that it doesn't matter, man. You know? And they refuse to let us go, man. Because as a whole nation, Esau know that he's making a profit off of us, man. He don't want to let the Negroes and Latinos and Native Americans go. You know, even though we already know it's the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua that the Lord is going to redeem us. We're not going to bring our own salvation. And we know that this is our punishment for going against Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But the time is going to come where the Lord is going to redeem the nation of Israel, starting off with the elect, the 144,000 and the 1/3. So now I'm going to the book of Genesis and going to the details of the tribes that Jacob, our forefather, tell us how we were going to be in the last days, man. You know, to prove that the Latinos and the Native Americans are Israelites as well, just as the so-called blacks, man. So I'm going to start off with verse 1. This is Genesis 49, verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and say, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall be before you in the last days, meaning the times that we are in now. So these are hints that Jacob gave to his sons, what the Most High had for us today, because the Lord knew that we were going to discontinue from our heritage, man. In Genesis, the 49th chapter, is a key chapter to prove who are the Israelites today, man. You know? And it says, gather yourselves together and hear you sons of Jacob, and hearken to Israel your father. And it says, Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency and dignity of the excellency of power. And unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to the Father's bed, then defilest thou it. He went up to my couch. Come, so this is basically, Jacob telling the tribe Simeon, the tribe Reuben, which are the Seminole Indians today, man, that he, because Reuben was the firstborn, but the Lord, but Jacob said that he would not excel, man, and that's why you see what happened to the Seminole Indians, the tribe Reuben, mainly when Andrew Jackson came in, the Indian killer, and had them on the we had a time or event called the Trail of Tears, man. When he made the Indians, the tribe of Reuben, walk from the eastern south of America to different parts of Oklahoma, to the Midwest, Texas, Missouri. He made them walk all those miles, man. But they didn't give in, man. They didn't give in like the northern the Native Americans, which are the Gadites, man. They held their dignity, man. And you had majority of them went down there to Florida. If that where you get majority of the Reubenites are at, man, the Seminole Indians, man, down there in Florida, man. But they kicked their integrity, man. And didn't sell out like the Native Americans, man. And it says, Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation. That's going into Simeon, which represent the Dominican Republic, and Levi represent the Haitians over there. And the Lord said that they're all on the same island, man. And they say instruments and cruelty are in their habitation, going into that witchcraft, man, the voodoo that they use over there in the land of Haiti and Simeon, And it says, Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation. Meaning they dwell on the same land, worshiping, they're doing that voodoo, man. Majority of them do that voodoo, man, over there in Haiti and the Dominican Republic, Levi and Simeon. And it says, "O my soul, come not into thy secret until they assemble my honor. Be not thou united," and they not united, man. Because you got the Hispanics, the Dominicans over there rivaling with the Haitians, man. And they the same nation, man, with the same people. But they come from the same nation, the nation of Israel, man. And Simeon is part of that 10 tribes that came over here to America, And the Levites came over here during the time when the Judah and Benjamin came along during the time of the 16th century, in the 15th century, when we came over here on the cargo slave ships. But Simeon was over here way before Levi came over here, But even to this day, man, they got an evil eye toward each other, man, because that's part of the curses that the Lord put upon them. And mainly for being disobedient. And that witchcraft, that voodoo, play a big part of them being a judge and hatred amongst each other. And it says, "For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig a wall. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel." So that way you got the division amongst the Dominicans and the Haitians, man. Simeon and Levi. And it says, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Kind of represent Judah. It's the head tribe, you know. And he said that thy hand should be in the neck of our enemies, because we're going to be the Judah. It's going to be the head tribe that Yahushua set up, man, to lead the rest of the Israel, man. And as together, man, we're going to take the nations down through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahushua. And it says, Judah is a lion whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. And that's the state of the so-called Negroes here today, man. You know, the so-called African American. You know, they're in a state of a docile, man, as an old lion. You know, because one thing about a lion, man, that's a furious animal, man, a furious beast. You know, but Judah, the so-called Negroes, they're in the mind frame of comfortability, man, thinking everything's good, man. Forgive and forget what happened to us in slavery, man. That's how the majority of you so-called Negroes, you blacks think, man. You know, and it says, Judah is a lion whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he crouches as a lion, as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? So the Lord going to put the spirit on Judah, you know, to rouse Judah up, man. You know, because like I said, that's the head tribe that the Lord is using, man. You know, that way you had King David, King Solomon, Yahushua, who the world calls Christ, came out of the tribe of Judah, because that's the head tribe that the Lord is going to set on top, to lead the rest of the nation of Israel. And it says, who shall rouse him up? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Kind of going into when Yahushua return, man. Yahushua is going to set up the kingdom, starting off with the head tribe, Judah, all the way down. And it says, bending his fold unto the vine, and his ass coat unto the choice vine, he washed his garment in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. Talking about how much judgment or bloodshed Yahushua is going to come with, man. Because Yahushua is not coming back with all love, man. He coming back to bring judgment, man. You know, destruction by the ways of those chariots, what the world call UFOs. And he's coming back to bring all these nations, you know, these heathen nations down, man. And he's going to fight against the armies, you know, during the time of World War III, and bring a lot of death, man. That's what that's symbolic for. When it said that his garment was rolled in blood, meaning the judgment and the wrath that he about to bring upon the wicked of this earth. And it says, his eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. So it says, chapter 13, Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon. So Zebulun represent the nations down there in Central America, like Panama to Guatemala, you know, and they say the haven of ships representing the Panama Canal, man, because that way you have majority of ships from these other countries, nations, you know, use. That's the whole thing about the Panama deception, man. You know, during the time of, I believe, Ronald Reagan, where they went in there and took over the Panama Canal, so they could have access to shipment on boats, you know, to bring in, you know, goods from different other countries and make profit off of it, you know, because it's a way to bring sources in, man, you know. But it's showing you that Zebulun, the Panamanians and the Guatemalans are Zebulun, because Jacob said that they shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and shall be for a haven of ships. Like I say, man, that's one of the main sources they use over there in Panama to bring access of materials in for those boats, man. You know, them ships, man. You know, the Panama Canal. So you can't get past this, man. And it said, Issachar is as a strong. I mean, Issachar is a strong ass crouching down between two burdens. And kind of Issachar going into the tribe or going to the nation or the so-called Mexicans, man. You know, and it says that here's a strong ass crouching down between two borders. Yeah, kind of, and the ass is known for working, man. You know, they know the word Issachar means he's hired, man. That's why you see majority of the Mexicans do a lot of work, man. They do all the heavy work, man. You know, the dirty work where most people don't want to work, man. You know, but they do it for a little or nothing, cause it's in their spirit, man. And they getting treated like shit, man. Getting thrown in the concentration camps, trying to come over here between in here and catching hell in Mexico and America. That represent that when it says that Issachar the strong ass crouching down between two burdens. The two burdens is that they catching hell in Mexico, you know, and they already legalized as an immigrant over here in America, trying to get over here in America, and also they catching hell, you know, on the border of Central America, man. So they in between, like the scripture say, two burdens, man. They catching hell, man. You know, you have recently you had the ice raids taking place for a couple of months now, about a month and a half, going on, rounding up the so-called legal immigrants and deporting them back into Mexico. So you want to say they not catching hell, man? Huh? Esau ain't doing this to these other countries, man, or the other nations like the Chinese, the Arabs. He's mainly doing it to the Latinos and some of the Southern Kingdom. Like you got some Haitians, some Jamaicans, West Indians. They get deported too, man. But when it comes to these other nations, these heathen nations, man, he don't deport them. Show you who's the unwanted, man, and who fit the curses. And it says, and he saw that the rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bow his shoulder to bear and become a servant unto tribute, according to the hard work that Issachar does, man. There's the so-called Mexicans, man. He made himself into a tribute, man, a servant to working, man. Cause that how the spirit of the Lord put upon those so-called Mexicans, man. And look at all that, the hell that they catching, man. The Northern Kingdom. They do the same thing exactly as the Southern Kingdom, man. When it comes to so-called, even on a negative image, when it comes to, gang banging, the music, the unequal, so-called unequal rights, uncivil rights, man. They get treated just like a so-called black man. But you got the nerves of these Israelites, that Israelite leaders and these Israelite camps that denying that the Latinos and the Native Americans are not the brethren of the Israel, man. Them dudes should be ashamed of themselves, man. The Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to have a major judgment for those false prophets, man. Because Yahushua say that if you're not with him, you're against him. And if you're not gathering the sheep, you are scattering the sheep, man. And that's what these dudes are doing. Because one part of the time, you had these folky, they say they were Israelites, saying that the Native Americans and the Latinos are Israelites. But now all of a sudden, when he don't come back and pop back up on the scene, he done changed the doctrine and saying that all Israel are Negroes. You scattering the flock, man. And what you gonna do to those so-called Native Americans, and Latinos that once following you? Now you saying that they're not Israelites, man. You scattering the flock, man, and you bringing damnation to yourself, man. And it says, Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path that biteth the horse heels, so that his rider shall fall back. And I have waited for salvation, O Lord. And Dan, was one of the tribes that the Lord, basically like, done away with, or scattered amongst the other tribes, man. But when you read Revelation, the seventh chapter, it doesn't mention Dan as one of the elect. It only mentioned the rest of the 12 tribes of Israel. You know, because even though because Levi, the Haitians, they was they came out of the sons of Israel, the tribe of Israel, but it was known as the priesthood. You know, but the Lord had done away with Dan and only decided to keep the 12, man. You know, but that's a different topic. And it says, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall not overcome Salaki. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. And Gad are the Native American Indians, man. And it said a troop shall overcome him, represent the U.S. cavalry, the genocides of the Native Americans, how they had their land stolen from them, all the treaties that the U.S. made with the Native Americans, how they broke all the treaties, So the Lord said that a troop shall overcome Gad, but at the last, Gad shall overcome, because the Lord is going to save elect a Gad, man, 12,000 Gadites, man, and a 1/3 of them, man, And it says, out of Asher his bread shall be fat, and he shall yell royal dainties. Kind of going into Asher, going into the so-called Brazilians down there, over there in Brazil, Venezuela, And the Lord said that, Central America. And the Lord said that, and it said that, the Lord said that out of Asher his bread shall be fat, and he shall yell royal dainties, going into the lifestyle, man, the resources that they have over there on Central, Central America, South America, because the Brazilians, majority of them, they're in Central America too, but the majority of them are in on the South America, North or South America, with Brazil and Venezuela at, man, and the Lord said that the dainties, going into the riches, man, the resource they have, the oil, the precious stones they have over there, the precious resources they have. And that's why Esau goes over there and take those things from them. That's the whole main thing about them invading Venezuela, man. To get that gas from them, get the oil from them, And it says, the Thali is a hen let loose, he giveth goodly words. And the Thali going into the so-called Argentinas, the Chileans, all doing over there in the Amazon, And it said, the Thali is a hen let loose, he giveth godly words, and kind of because the Thali over there well, they into doing a lot of sports. They into going and about, traveling, and it says, I believe, even some of those you got a lot of the Thaliites up there with Asher, man, over there in Venezuela. Israel is scattered, man, even amongst each other, man. Because you got a lot of these dudes talking about Northern Kingdom, the Native Americans and Latinos are not part of Israel. We all got to be Negroes. Israel got to be all Negroes. And they don't even have to understand it, man. Their bloodline might be go back to a so-called Native Americans or Latino, all because you got some Northern Kingdom, Native Americans and Latinos with, a lighter skin complexion doesn't mean they're so-called white, man. doesn't mean they're not a part of Israel. Now all of a sudden, they're basically going off of color, man, skin color, man. Cause you got as darker, you got dark so-called white people, man. When I say mean by that, I mean tares, man. Even amongst Israel, you got the so-called white man seed that he's spraying amongst Israel, and you have some of our people might come out looking dark skinned, but they really Edomites, man. It goes back to the bloodline and the spirit, man. So what you gonna have to say about the ones of our people who bloodline go back to Negro descent from like Europe or from other nations, the Israelite foreigners, man? Y'all guys believe in the Israelite foreigners? You know? Huh? When you got Israelites that's gonna come out or come looking like the Chinese, the Arabs, huh? Vietnamese, Hawaiians, Samoans, huh? Are them guys Israelites? Huh? The one who bloodline go back to Negro descent? Or Latino or Native American descent? See, these guys, man, the Lord is going to do a lot of damage, man, because these dudes are not out here preaching the right doctrine, man. You know, when it don't prove that Israel is scattered amongst all nations, it don't prove that the Northern Kingdom considered Native Americans and Latino tribes, that they are the Israelites. And it says, Genesis chapter 49, verse 22. And it says, Joseph is a fruitful broad, even a fruitful broad by a well, whose branches run over the wall. The archers have surely griven him and shot at him and hated him. Because Joseph represent the tribe Ephraim, you know. Ephraim and Manasseh, Salak. Ephraim are the so-called Puerto Ricans today, and Manasseh represent the so-called Cubans, you know. And Ephraim is the head tribe, man. And the Puerto Ricans catches as much hell as any other nation, man, or tribe, man. Look over there and over there today, man. In Puerto Rico, man. Blackouts, hurricanes hitting them, you know, and not receiving any kind of aid. Where America supposed to be over Puerto Rico, man. You know, but the word Puerto Rico go back to port of riches, man. Cause that's what they use the so-called Latino, Taino Indians, the Puerto Ricans for, man. Just to use their land for merchandise, man. Stole everything from their island, man, and leave them poor. The Edomites, man. And like I say, Manasseh going to the Cubans, man. And it says, verse 24, but his bow abided in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty power of Jacob. From this is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. Yeah, kind of going into how Ephraim is the head tribe of the Northern Kingdom, or the rest of the Latinos and the Native American tribe, you know. And it says, even by the power of thy Father who shall help thee, by the Almighty who shall bless thee with blessing of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lieth under, blessing of the beast and of the womb. The blessing of the Father hath prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors unto the uttermost bounds of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him that was separated from his brother. Kind of going into all the blessings that Yahweh Shem Yahushua blessed the tribe Ephraim with, man. How he's the head tribe, man, of the Northern Kingdom. That when you go back into the separation, man, you know, of the Southern Kingdom and the Northern Kingdom. Because the Lord had the Northern Kingdom, which the son Jeroboam, you know, it was the son of Ephraim, you know, and he separated the other tribes from the Southern Kingdom, man, all due to prophecy that led them in the Assyrian captivity. Later on, they got put into the Syrian captivity and came over here to the shores of America. And then they got historical facts, events, books, proving that all the tribes over here knew that the Taino Indians are the head tribe, man. Because they go back to the tribe of Ephraim. And it says, Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil. Going into the Benjamin are the so-called, Jamaicans and West Indians, over there in the Caribbeans, the Bahamas, and different islands over there, And they say a raven wolf, because Benjamin gonna be known for, mainly for his music, And when you listening to anything about, the reggae, especially the old classic reggae, they always going into how praising the Most High, going into the downfall of Babylon, which Babylon is symbolic for America, the wicked of Esau, Edom, how the Lord always going to, at the end days, how the Lord is going to bring the nations back together, talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. They always going into Israel, so you just, Genesis 49 just, going into how the tribes are going to be here in the last days, man. And you got other brothers out there that did the topic on Genesis 49, going into deeper intel and detail about, how the tribes, the so-called us, the Native Americans, the Native American Latinos and the Negroes match up that we are the Israelites, man, according to the Bible, man. You got a lot of brothers out there going into this, man. Going into it, more details than what I'm going into, man. Plenty of videos. That's why Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, want to get rid of this truth, man, because the word is spreading. And it says, all these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is it that their father spake unto them. Bless them, every one according to his blessing, he blessed them. So basically that's it, Just going into details and the curses about how Israel going to be in the last days, man. But now we're in a time that the Lord is bringing us back together, man. Those are, Genesis 49, man, is a key chapter and add it up. If you got the spirit, man, through the prophecies and through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you can add up through Genesis the 49th chapter. It's talking about, man, that it relate to the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And the Native Americans and the Latinos are part of Israel, man. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Ezekiel chapter 37. And I'm going to start off at verse 15. And it says, Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel and his companions, going into how the Lord to Ezekiel, how in the last days, how he's going to bring the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom back together. Because like I went into earlier, man, we was once split as a kingdom. And that was one of the main reasons why we go out there with the sign, the 12 tribe chart. No matter how much the false prophet and these non-believers say that the chart doesn't match up, man. Through the spirit, we believe that it doesn't match up. It does match up, And we know that the tribe, the 12 tribe sign is accurate, man, and it's correct. It's the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And it says, Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel and his companions, represent the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, so-called blacks, Jamaicans, and Haitians. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, for all the house of Israel and his companions, going into the Ephraim, being the head tribe, the so-called Puerto Ricans, and the rest of his companion of Israel represent the other tribes of the 10 tribes of Israel that came over here, the Latinos and the Native Americans. And it said, and join the one to another in one stick, and they shall become one in thy hand. So that's what you're saying, man. Start with the men of great millstone, those that in the same spirit with the chart of Israel out there, man. We coming together, man. And we telling you that the Negroes and the Native Americans and the Latinos, we are all the same people, man. From the 12 tribes of Israel, man. From Israel. That's what we got that sign out there, man. And the scripture going to go into more of it. And it says, and when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by this? And that's why we got the sign out there. Because when we go out there and speak, man, people walk by, they acquire and they see they stuff, whatever false identity they gave they stuff, seeing the Negro, Haitian, or Puerto Rican, Dominican, Mexican. They look on the other side of the chart and they see what they nation or nationality go back to when according to the Bible, man. And they're acquired of that, man. And that one of the main things that wake them up, man. Seeing themselves in the 12 tribes of Israel, man. Who their true identity is. But you got dudes out there that don't want the Northern Kingdom, the Latinos and Native Americans don't want them to be part of it, man. And it says, and it reads on, say unto them, thus say the Lord power, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, and even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. Kind of meaning that the Lord is going to bring us back together, man. And these dudes out here, man, they bugged out, man. That we got to give praise to Yahweh Shema Shah for giving, the hopeful elect, praying I'm part of that number, and other brethren that's in the truth, giving us the right understanding and the right doctrine, man. That open up our eyes and have the ability to see that the words are faithful and true. That all things are adding up, man, according to the scriptures. This is Isaiah chapter 11, verse 13. And it says that I'll start off at 12. 11 and 12. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and he shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah for the four corners of the earth. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Kind of meaning that the Lord is going to he ain't going to have that division amongst the elect of Israel, man. You ain't going to see no elect man or Judah or Benjamin Levi talking about the Native Americans and the Latinos are not Israelites, man. You ain't going to see no elect men of the Northern Kingdom talking about the blacks ain't part of the nation of Israel, man. Because the Lord is going to bring the elect of the nation of Israel together, and they're going to see on one accord, man. We're going to know that we are brethren, man. Thou the Lord said that the envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversities of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Because it was taught a long time, that division, that conquered and divide and conquered, man, to separate us from each other, man. That's why they call us blacks, trying to say that we from Africa, and trying to have an evil eye toward the Native Americans and the Hispanics, Esau systematically designed that. But here you got the simple ones of Israel claiming they Israelite leaders, misguiding the people, misleading the people when they saying that we are not the same people, man. That's what Esau doing, man. And here our people right along with 2/3 of you false Israelite prophets, right along with Esau saying that the Native Americans and the Hispanics, we are not the same. That Esau idea to separate us, man. You know, but through the Spirit, the Lord is bringing us back together, man. And the Lord said we're not going to envy each other, you know. And the Lord said we're not going to, Judah ain't going to vex Ephraim, man. Well, you have 2/3 of must these so-called, like I say, the Israelites, that claiming that they prophets, saying they end up with an all black Israel, all Negroes. You know, well, that's Judah vexing Ephraim, man, saying that the Puerto Ricans and the rest of the Latino tribes and the Native Americans are not Israelites, man. Let me get one more scripture to close it out. You know, you done had so many old movies, you know, they show you, you know, it was a movie, I think with Fred Williams in it, an old movie, man, during the 70s, man. You know, I forgot what the movie was called. When they show you the Native Americans and the so-called Negroes came together, man, you know, and how they didn't, you know, fought, but they acknowledged each other as being brothers, man. You know, so Esau know, man, he should put it in the Hollywood movies. Another movie was the 12 years of slavery, man, or 12 years a slave. You know, I forgot the title of it, but they show you how the so-called Negroes and the Indians came together. You know, and they was, you know, dancing and, you know, cheering together. So Esau know, man, he know that we're the children of Israel. These facts that we get from the internet, man, the different sources that we get, all the Edomites exposing themselves, man. Like Pastor Tahar went out last week, and you know how he said that brought out that a Jewish, you know, scholar said that how the Native Americans are Israelites, man. You know, cause man, it's undeniable, man. You know, cause Native Americans, man, they don't say how they got, you know, books, scholarship, archaeologists, you know, saying that how they spoke Hebrew, how they wore the fringes, you know, the phylacteries, how they kept certain high holy days, how they kept the land Sabbath, you know, how they wrote the Hebrew in different, you know, on stones and everything. So the truth is undeniable, man. The facts is undeniable. But you got simple ones, or you so-called Negroes out here trying to diss the Native Americans and the Latinos, man. You should be ashamed of yourself, man. But this is what I'm going to bring out. And this is what close it out on this scripture, man. And this is what Paul say, man. This is the book of Titus, chapter 1, verse 9. And it says, holding fast the faithful word as he had been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine by to exalt and convince the gainsaying. So you put to hold on fast to what you've been taught. And I'm pretty sure, man, Fopi, man, they wasn't taught that all tribes of Israel or any other false camp that's saying that all tribes of the Israel are so-called black, man. You know, ever since from one west, when mainly where the truth came from, and our apostles extended out of, they taught the whole time that the whole 12 tribes of Israel considered Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. It is dudes that change it up, man, because they wanted to sound something new, man. You know, where they going off. And it said that he may be able by sound doctrine, and that's not sound doctrine, man, that they pushing, both to exalt and to convince the gainsayer. Because we supposed to convince the elect, but we're going to convince the elect. It don't matter if 2/3 don't get this or not, man, because these false prophets was set up through the Spirit of the Lord to blind the 2/3, man, the undesirables, the ones that's wicked, and the Lord found fit not to get this word, man, so they can be destroyed. And it says to exhort and to convince the gainsayers, For there are many unruly and vain talkers, and what they talking is vain, man, because it's not of the doctrine of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, not of the Spirit. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, and they deceiving the ones out there. And the Lord, Paul said, especially those of the circumcision, because here they supposed to be calling themselves Israelites and bringing out the word, supposed to warn Israel, give the knowledge to Israel, but here they see deceiving Israel, and they calling themselves Israel themselves, man, calling themselves Israelite leaders, man. When they're saying that the Native Americans and the Latinos are not Israelites. When they're saying that the name of the Lord doesn't matter. When they're saying that the RFID chip is not the mark of the beast, you can take it. When they're saying that the Esau, Edom, and other nations can make it. You know, where the Sabbath is not the new moon. You know what I mean? You know, sundown the sun up. You know, all type of madness they spewing, man. And it's especially those of the circumcision, man, who supposed to know better, man. You know, because here you are, our people are already lost, don't know who they are. But then you got false prophets amongst Israel that supposed to be professing themselves to be godly man, but still deceiving them, man. You know, plucking the flesh off of them, man, and putting Israel, putting our people back into a worse, a deeper state, man. Not giving them the full doctrine, man, or not giving the truth at all, but using the front like you're an Israel, like you're a man of the Lord. Continue on, and it says, for there are many unruly and vain talkers, deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not, for filthy lucre's sake. So their mouth must be stopped, man. And the Lord is going to do that, man. When he finished with you on the left-hand side, and he sealed his elect, and he finished having you false prophets, you know, spew madness and deceive the people, man, then he going to bring that judgment upon y'all, man. You know, for all the wickedness that y'all been spewing, man, and deceiving the people with, man. You know, so the Lord said your mouth must be stopped, and it's going to come to the point that these false prophets are going to be done away with, man, because the truth is going to stand at the end, and the true men of the Lord is going to be standing at the end, you know. And it says that teaching things which they ought not, for filthy lucre's sake. And you got a lot of these dudes, like Pastor Ronald went into the other day, man. You got a lot of these dudes that's in this truth, was so, you know, say they in the truth, but usually really using the Bible as a front, man, for gimmicks, you know, for filthy lucre's sake, meaning for riches, for fame, for fortune, to be seen, you know. And some of them are doing it willingly, man. They know they doing it. They know they don't really believe in the truth, man. They're just doing it so it's a cash cow, you know, a way to get money, you know. And the Lord going to judge them for that, man. If they know or don't know, man. But majority of them, they got to know, you know. But it's just that the Lord put that spirit on them to be so blinded that they keep continuing in their wickedness till the Lord destroy them, man. That's how cold Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is, man. And it said that one of themselves, even a prophet of their own, say, the Satirians are always liars, evil beasts, and slow bellies. This witness is true. Wherefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith and kind. They were the men of great millstone, man, starting with apostles and elders on down, man. When we coming out and getting on these dudes, you know, because like I said, the apostles always say, we even get on ourselves. They get on us, man. You know, when a certain camp and GMS going off, you know, because that's part of the doctrine, man, the rebuke and correction, man. But we, you know, when the elders, apostles, and brothers get on these other camps, man, they take it as something hate, man. Instead of, especially, clearly they going off, man. When you saying that Native Americans and the Hispanics, Latinos ain't part of Israel, man, you clearly going off, man. And that's a rebuke and a correction you got to get right, man. But they take it as we hating, you know, or we think y'all better than us. We're gonna go do things our own way. But the way you doing is not the way you how about Shem Yahweh, man. And that's why we get on other camps, man. To rebuke them when they going off in the scriptures, man. You know? And it says, and this witness is true, wherefore rebuke them sharply that they may be sound in the faith. Not giving heed to Jewish fables or commandments of men that turn from the truth. That what happened, man. Like Fopi, man. And other camps that's out there and once was teaching the correct doctrine, now turning from the truth. But going into Jewish fables, man. False doctrines, man. Because what they've been taught is getting too old for them now. They make me figure they get more viewers or more money when they say that Edomites can make it. When they bring more women into their congregation. When they can make profit off of music, rap videos, And it says, unto the pure, all things are pure. But unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. So that's why they can't get the understanding of the truth, man. Because the Lord is going to make a pure understanding for the elect. And the word pure means the whole, man. Sanctified. The Lord going to bless and sanctify his elect with the pure understanding of the scriptures, man. But the Lord said this, but Paul said this. And it said, but unto them that defile and unbelieving is nothing pure. And that's why they can't get it, man. Because they defile when it comes to the doctrine, man. When it comes to them saying that Native Americans, the Latinos are not Israelites. Like I said, when they saying that the name of the Lord doesn't matter. On the mark of the beast is not the RFID chip. Both of your parents got to be Israelites in order for you to be an Israelite, not just your father. They're undefiled, man. They defiled, man, and unbelieving. Because they really don't believe in the true doctrine of Yahweh Shem Yahweh. All they call themselves Israelites, but they really don't believe. Because they truly believe in the Spirit of the Lord with them, they will be teaching the right doctrine. It says, but even their mind and conscience is defiled. They profess that they know the Most High, but in works they deny him, and being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate. And that word reprobate means avoid of judgment. Because they avoid of the judgment that's coming for them, man, when they teaching these false doctrines, man, and using the Lord, using Israel, or using the Bible and twisting it, man. They're bringing these damnable heresies, man. So they are reprobates. They avoid of what they're doing to themselves, man. Till the Lord bring that judgment upon them. And it said they profess that they know the Most High, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient. And they're abominable, man. When they ain't preaching the right doctrine of Yahweh Shem Yahweh. They disobedient when they ain't taking the correction for the men who got it right, man. And they really taking disobedient from Yahweh Shem Yahweh. It's a group of men that the Lord is with that had 100% truth, man. And they got it right, man. And you got to take heed to them, man. And we believe those are the men of great millstones, start with apostles and elders on down, man. Because their works show it, and the Spirit show it, man. Through the scriptures, through the word, But basically that's it, man. Hope the video ain't went too long, just video, get on these false prophets, man. Talking about the Native Americans and the Latinos are not Israelites, man. Only all 12 tribes. All 12 tribes are Negroes. They out of their mind, man. They clearly don't have the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh dealing with them, man. The Lord gonna start doing a lot of damage, man. A lot of damage to these false prophets amongst Israel, man. Because we're getting closer and closer to the time of Yahushua's second coming, man. And the Lord, Yahushua ain't coming back playing no games, man. And, but the Lord always said that, don't be curious about the ungodly, man. That shall perish, man. Just our whole concern is be about the elect and about ourselves, the one that's in the faith, man, that's doing the work, man. About ourselves and the brethren, man. Work out our own salvation, but also on sending and preaching this word to elect. Because that's who the word of Yahweh Shema Shah is only going to reach. Because that's who the Lord is only dealing with at the moment. We have to understand that 2/3 of our people is going to be put to death. Even the 2/3 amongst the false prophets and the 2/3 amongst Israel that following the false prophets, and into this world, man. So I hope and pray that this lesson is edifying to the ones that's out there that's listening. Keep pushing and keep fighting. Till next time, give all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that teach and rule well. And salutation to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry, pushing the word of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, in all truth and sincerity. Till the next time, Shalom.